right, guys, welcome to the Tim Lauer Show in Island Time Studios. We got a special guest today, Tater Harris. Thank you for joining us today, Tater.
Thank you, Tim.
Yeah, Tater is the owner of Gulf Coast Rental Company in Orange Beach. So I'd like to welcome onto the show. So tell us about Tater. Who is Tater Harris?
Well, I'm from Mobile, born and raised. Traveled all over the country for 13 years after graduating high school. I did project construction management for multi-conglomerates, a lot of big engineering EPC firms. So went to Saint Croix, lived in Chattanooga, lived in Texas, Louisiana, lived in Lima, Peru for a year. Met my wife in Peru. It was a wonderful experience. And so we continued traveling after I met Sarah. And so got an entrepreneurial spirit, and 4 years ago we opened up Gulf Coast Rental Company, and have been growing it, I would say semi-successfully so far. A lot of room for improvement, but we keep working at it.
Cool. What kind of stuff do you guys rent?
We rent Jeeps, Slingshots, low-speed vehicles. We have overflow parking for parking spaces. I've got some storage units I rent, and this year we are getting into renting some heavy machinery.
Oh, wow.
Skid steers and excavators and the sort.
Pretty cool. So somebody could come down, let's say we're traveling here for the beach, and we're driving down. We don't have to pack our car full of what?
You don't have to bring your ice chest. You don't have to bring your high chair. You don't have to bring your crib, your pack and play. Umbrellas, chairs, paddle boards, box fan if you want it. If you need air mattresses, you need beach towels, boogie boards, skim boards. You can leave all that stuff at home and come here, and we can make your vacation stress-free.
Awesome. That's great. That's what I love about it. You see people going in and walking out with all the essentials that they don't have to travel all the way down here with. Just jump in the car, bring a couple pairs of clothes, and enjoy the vacation.
Yes, absolutely.
So cool, good stuff. So how you started your business 4 years ago?
Yeah.
In Orange Beach. Tell us a little bit about what that looked like.
So in 2017 or 18, my wife and I went to Hawaii for her birthday, and we noticed people rent everything in Hawaii. Well, we noticed the market wasn't here for that. There's chairs and umbrellas and paddle boards here, kayaks, but it's pretty limited on market. You couldn't rent a skim board or boogie board or fishing wagon, and so coolers and things like that. So in Hawaii, obviously you can't drive. You got to fly. Nobody's carrying all that stuff on an airplane.
That's right.
And so we decided to open a business. We had rented. I owned a Slingshot, so we talked about doing a Slingshot rental business. We just didn't know if that'd be viable, just as a standalone product.
Gotcha.
So we thought adding the beach equipment would make more sense. And if I had to do it all over again, we would probably just stick with vehicle rentals.
Okay.
It's a little bit easier,
Yeah.
not as labor intensive. But the business on the beach equipment rentals has done good, so we'll continue on with it. But as we open other locations, we'll probably just stick with vehicle rentals.
Gotcha. And with your vehicles, do you buy them outright or do you finance them? Or
I finance, buy, so a little
Combination.
combination. So we own some of our equipment outright, some of it we finance, just kind of depending on what we're doing and what the banks are doing at the time. Look at interest rates. And
That makes sense. So how long, like a lot of people get in the business and think that cash flow is going to start happening from day one. How long did it take to start, cash flowing?
I would say cash flow for us took 13 months.
Okay. Nice.
For us, because
Okay.
we opened in May, which is at the start of the season. Our first year was slow. It's your first year in business.
Yeah.
People are learning about you. And our second year, we increased sales 600%.
Wow, that's huge.
So it was
Nice.
a pretty tremendous growth. In our third year, we increased sales another 600%.
Wow.
So that's I'm not gonna say everybody does that or fortunate. COVID was a blessing for our business with the rest of the beaches in the country shut down. Us being the first beaches to open back up.
Yep.
Driving Destin and Panama City people to Orange Beach. So, everybody had record-breaking years, 20 and 21, people not going on cruises and things of that nature. So it really helped our economy here in Orange Beach, I feel, and really helped my business as well.
No, yeah, there's still an impact from people just getting used to coming and seeing our beautiful beaches and coming back every year.
Yeah.
So with that said, how important is it for businesses to get that cash flow coming in?
Cash flow has to be paid attention to.
Yeah.
You're going to bleed cash your first 1 to 2 years in business. I would say if you're opening up, I would say 1 to 2 years, you're going to need to just have a good nest egg to start.
Yeah.
Keep your overhead low. Keep your labor low. Those are things I look at. I would say try to keep labor under 15% if you can. It's tough, but
that's right.
I would start off trying to keep my labor cost around 10 to 15%. And as you grow, you're probably going to be closer to 20%, depending on the business environment you're in. But I would definitely pay attention to how much is coming in versus how much is going out each month. And the business I'm in is capital intensive with regards to equipment.
Yeah.
So I may buy a $30,000 slingshot and pay on it for 3 years. Well, I have a lot of equity in that car, but I don't have the cash from that equity.
Yeah.
So when you're dealing with banks, one of the things to look for and do if you're buying equipment is make sure you have reamortization in yours. Because if you're buying equipment, say I buy 10, $30,000 slingshots, that's $300,000 or $250,000 you finance. Well, if one gets wrecked and totaled, well, the insurance company cuts the bank a check for, say, $25,000. Well, your principal reduction comes down from $250 to $225, but your note is still on the same as it was before. So you have one less item to rent, but you're paying the same note. Now, I wouldn't be reamortizing because I paid an extra $500 on my principal, but I would be reamortizing if you have a vehicle paid off that you lost out of your rental fleet. That's an extra $500 a month, or $400 or $500 a month you can recoup in cash flow. Otherwise, you're paying more equity in and building it in your cars, but sometimes it's more important to have that cash.
Yeah, no, I agree, absolutely. Now, what do you attribute that tremendous growth from, that 600%? What are some of the things you did locally, community, advertising, networking that helped build that business up?
I would say we joined the chamber. That was a good start. We revamped our website. My first website, we spent $1,500 on. My website I have now has $25,000 invested in it.
Okay. Nice.
So we rank number one in a lot of categories in Google. Number two, we go after Google reviews relentlessly. So ranking high on Google was very important. People booking off and having a website that's mobile friendly.
Yeah,
a lot of people use their phone. I like to use a laptop, but I'm not everybody. Yeah. It's just easier for me to look at two screens. I got 232. And so for me, it's easier. But a lot of people book off their phone.
Yeah.
And so those are some of the key things you want. Making it easy for customers to book. And so we're actually revamping our booking system right now again. And we're fixing to make it even better than it is now.
Awesome.
So that's going to be rolling out probably later this week.
Nice.
So I would find someone really good at design. Logo design can be good. We didn't spend a lot on our logo design. Hindsight probably should have, but it works for us.
Yeah.
It's good. But yeah, website functionality, SEO. I don't hire anybody locally to do my search engine optimization because I just feel like there's other people in the space and they may help their business, and so you may not necessarily get your foot forward. I would hire somebody from several states away that doesn't do business down here.
Okay.
Do your SEO, who will really go after it and maybe not pull back as much.
Okay.
Especially if I'm like a realtor as yourself, and obviously there's more than one real estate agent here in Baldwin County. I wouldn't hire anybody from Baldwin County to do my SEO for a realty company because
could be a conflict of interest.
There's chances are they probably got another one somewhere. So.
Nice. Well, good stuff. The website looks great. As you can see, you can pop down and see all this rental opportunities, slingshots, Jeeps, parking. Tell us a little bit about the parking.
So parking, we noticed when I first started, I had 3 cars to rent. And I had 12 parking spaces in front of my building.
Nice.
And I kept seeing Facebook groups and other things, overflow parking, looking for overflow parking. So I started renting out my other 9 parking spaces I had because I only had 3 cars to rent. So I never had more than 3 customers in my 12 spots.
Yeah.
And so I started renting out my spaces, and there were some more spaces on down the way that I had access to rented out. Well, that morphed into a lot bigger than I thought. So my landlord at the time, Mr. Brazelton, he had 2 acres of clear property, and so I leased it from him and improved it and started doing overflow parking at our store, and then parking the cars there after the customers come in and did their transaction at our store at our location.
Nice. That's smart. I mean, a lot of people come down with families. Some of the condos can only take 1 or 2 cars at them. So that's a great option for people.
Yeah, a lot of the condos, like Phoenix West 2, I have a contract with Phoenix West 2, but for overflow parking. Okay. And their condos are typically all 3 and 4 bedrooms. And you have a lot of families that come down with more than, 2 cars. And I think the building designs 1.75 parking spaces per unit.
Wow.
And they're all 3 and 4 bedrooms. I believe that's City of Orange Beach. I may be wrong on that, but it is somewhere right around this.
It's not adequate.
Right. And, people come, their kids come down for the weekend. They're at the condo. They got 2 teenagers. Everybody wants to drive their car. And so, I get it. It's just a big need in the city. Yep. So we've been able to help solve some of those issues. And, during storms, I'll open up my parking to anybody in the city that needs a place to get their boat out of the way or anything like that.
That's great. That's great.
We will, if we have a big storm coming or something and somebody needs somewhere to put it, I won't charge residents. So, we can do stuff for the community as well.
That's great.
Staging areas for the city or other people that may need staging areas. So, there's a lot of things. Yeah. So we want to support the community where we can.
Great. And that's attributes to a lot of your growth as well, I'm sure, because, I didn't, like you said, you started 4 years ago, but it feels like you guys have been around forever because you're such a part of the community, chamber events, anything like that. So once you start as an entrepreneur, once you start rolling in money, what's let's say the top 2 or 3 things you invest in?
Your business.
Perfect. Yes.
Number 1. Your business number 2. And I would say invest in yourself.
Yes, that's a big one.
Invest in your family, being 3 and 4, and investing in your family could be higher on the list.
Yeah.
But it's hard to really go after business, have everything right sitting at the house.
Yeah.
Because you're spending time, and we can get focused on, what we're trying to do, create cash flow.
That's right.
And it takes time, and it takes effort, and it takes meetings, and it takes research, and it takes work.
It takes a lot of working hours,
Yeah, to do. And so every hour you're working is an hour you're not at home. Luckily, I work with my wife. She's my boss, as most of us. But, without her, without Sarah, we wouldn't be where we are. So we're good in different facets of business. I'm very good with banking and insurance, attorneys, regulatory, setting rules, procedures, IT related stuff, website. But Sarah's great with design, which I'm horrible at. I have no eye for that. Sarah's great with, and I would say setting up, not so much early so, but as you start getting employees, having operating procedures where people kind of do the same things.
Yep.
And Sarah's really good at that, keeping everybody organized and focused and on task. So we work well because she handles certain aspects and I handle certain aspects of business. But it takes two of us, and we would never be where we are today without the two of us.
Yeah, that's important to get the family support and onboarded and all working together towards the same goals. So you guys working together, how important is it for couples, maybe one's an entrepreneur, one's still paying the bills at home, or different aspects of that? How important is it for them to be on the same page with goals and with, you can't go off and have your own goals and not share them with.
Oh, that's important.
Yeah,
definitely. I mean, either you're going to work together or one of you is just not going to be involved in the business. So it's important that both people are working together. We know where we're trying to get to, trying to achieve. I'm sure you set goals. I've set goals. It'll be very hard to attain my goals that I
gotta set them high.
Mine are way high. So, not there yet, but, working towards them always.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I think you got to set goals that get you excited, goals that, a lot of people say, hey, what's your goal for sales? We'll add a zero to the end of that.
Yeah.
And then see how much your blood starts pumping, you know what I mean? It gets you going. So that's important.
Very important. I may add 2 zeros to the end.
Okay. Let's do it. Let's go 100 times.
Yeah.
Nice. So, I think my list was pretty similar to yours. Invest in yourself, invest in your family, invest back in your business. How about real assets? Do you look at real estate? Do you look at stock market? What are the kind of things would you put your money in?
So I just look at the opportunities available. I'm not going to sit here and say that real estate may not be a good opportunity.
Yeah.
Right now. It may be if you find the right deal.
That's right.
I think shorting the banking sector right now is a great opportunity.
Yeah.
I'm currently shorting Charles Schwab. I think it's an awesome opportunity. If the banks fail, I can make money.
Well, okay. Elaborate on that a little bit more.
So our economy's been super, super strong. We've had a good economy, but as we kind of trend toward a recession, whether certain people like to use that word or not, and with there's been some banks in California recently fail, and that's due to, I don't really want to get into all the issues of why they fail, but we have the opportunity that our banking market may be a little inflated, and it's driving down. There's been some big banks driving down in value. So I think there's some opportunities to make money on the downside and then turn around and swing on the upside.
That's what's great about being an entrepreneur is even during, they say recession or whatever, even during bad times, there's still opportunities there. It's just a matter of people looking for them. So most people get their head in the sand, oh man, there's nothing we could do, down and out. And then entrepreneurs kind of go in and see where those opportunities, because that's where problems are created and everything else, and people need the problem solved.
Yeah, there's a lot of great opportunities to make money. Man, I wish I knew every way there was to make money, and I don't. I learn new ways every day to make money. So, one thing I would also say about being in business is concentrate on what you're good at. Kick its ass, and when you get done kicking its ass, then go to the next category. So we kind of started with slingshots as the base for us. And once I didn't know where the max was. So we found out we could rent 3, and then we found out we could rent 7. And then we found out we could rent 12, and I was above that. Well, that's probably about the number I need to be at. So we added Jeeps, and we've added low-speed vehicles. So as we kind of grow each product line and make sure we hammer that, because if you're making money at it, keep doing that, and then you'll find out where you're kind of plateau. Yeah, where your plateau is, or I say plateau, but you may need to open another location to do more of that business. You may max out in one area.
That's right.
Especially what we do. So, and then you can open multiple locations. But that, I would make sure I'm good, and whatever's making you money, focus on the most.
That's right. That's right. And I love how you keep it all in the same field. It's not like you're trying to go out and sell some different kind of retail or something else. You're sticking with rentals. You're just expanding your product line.
Yes.
And giving people more options.
Yes. And the more options you can give people, the more customer service oriented. That's another thing. I have a great staff. We're very customer service oriented. We're friendly. I think, people won't go out of their way to do things for people outside the box. I would also say get way outside the box. You have to get really creative a lot of times, and that can make you very successful by being really creative and helping people. Like we help people all the time. We don't deliver vehicles to people to rent. They come to our store. Every now and then we'll do it. I mean, if it's close and not, in Tampa or somewhere, I mean, you wouldn't want to see the bill. I do it, but I mean, that's a big number. Add a 0 or 2 on the end. That's right. We can always accommodate, but so those are the things I would hammer. Just be nice to people, be friendly, be customer service oriented. Your customers are your lifeblood, and so you have to, be mindful of what they want. Now you get some difficult ones, but that's part of being in business.
That's right. That's right.
Still be nice and professional and courteous. Some of my staff's better at that than others, or me. So
nice.
Yeah.
So coming up through starting a business, what advice do you have for young entrepreneurs or people that are getting kicked off and starting a business?
One, I would say website again. Make sure your website is good, and don't try to do it yourself if that's not your primary job. There's experts at things, and I believe in hiring experts. If I hire a lawyer and he tells me to do this and I don't, then I consider myself stupid. Why do I go pay somebody money to tell me to do something and then I don't follow his advice?
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, same with going to the doctor. That's just the way I look at things.
That's right.
That's okay to get a second opinion, but if you get 2 of them tell you the same thing and you still don't do it, I wouldn't say that's a very wise decision. Other advice I would say is make sure you have a good financial CPA or financial planner. I have a great one. His name's Jason Meredith out of Birmingham. He's really, really good. I would also look at somebody on the younger end of the spectrum for that. So if you're going to be in business 20 years, that they can at least carry you with you for 15, 20 years before you would have to make a change. Somebody kind of learn.
That makes sense.
Make sure zoning. I mean, if you're opening a business somewhere, make sure zoning's okay. Look at all the permits, licenses, and all those kind of things that you have to have. Fortunately, we're in a business-friendly state here, so things aren't too difficult, here on the coast. I mean, we all have hurdles, but we're not, in New Jersey, where they could be much worse. I've never been open business there, but watching other people from Shark Tank, Kevin O'Leary, and he's like, I won't open a business there, and he's been pretty successful in life, so I'll, take his advice.
That's right. So, good stuff. Great thank you very much for coming on the show today. If you guys need anything, beach related, where you're down here to rent, contact Tater, Gulf Coast Rental. They're right there on Canal. You can't miss them. There's a ton of slingshots parked right outside.
Yes.
And yeah, thanks for coming on today, Tater.
Thank you, Tim.
Appreciate the time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.